Welcome guys. Before we write Python program, we have to understand some basic concepts which will help us establish a solid foundation. Escape sequences are very important concepts. Escape sequences are present in various other programming languages as well, like Java, C, C++, and in Python also. So if we understand escape sequences in Python, this will help us implement this concept in various other programming languages as well. Let us understand what are escape sequences in Python. Escape sequences represent special characters in Python. There are special characters in Python that we cannot represent directly. For that, we use escape sequences to represent those special characters. All escape sequences starts with an backslash and contains one or more characters. So we have to understand that we have some special characters that we cannot represent directly. For that, we use escape sequences to represent those characters. And escape sequences always starts with a backslash. Let's look the various escape sequences that are present in Python. In this table, we contain various escape sequences and their meaning. The escape sequence column contains the escape sequence and the meaning column contains the name of the escape sequence. Now these are some special characters that cannot be represented directly. In order to represent these special characters, we use escape sequences. You will notice all the escape sequences, they start with a backslash. The very first escape sequence is \n that represents a new line character. So when you hit enter key on your keyboard, it will generate a new line. New line will move your cursor to the next line. So in order to represent new line, we can use \n. The next escape sequence which we have is \b. It actually represents a backspace. So when you hit backspace key on your keyboard, it will generate a backspace. What it will do is it will delete the previous character. Now you cannot represent it directly. That's why we use \b, an escape sequence to represent the backspace. The next escape sequence is \t that represents horizontal tab. So when you press tab key on your keyboard, it will generate a horizontal tab. Then we have carriage return. We represent carriage return using \r. Carriage return will move your cursor to the beginning of the current line. Then we have null character, which is represented by \0. In Python, we do not use null characters that much, but it is used in programming languages like C and C++, where we use null character to represent end of a string. So at the very end of a string, you can find this null character. We have other escape sequences also to represent single quote, double quote, and backslash itself. So as you can see, we have various special characters that we cannot represent directly. In order to represent these special characters, we use escape sequences. We will write a program where we will understand how we can use escape sequences. Suppose if we want to display this message as an output, and the condition is we can use only one print statement. Let's see how we can display this message as an output using a single print statement. So what we can do is welcome Pythonista, happy Python programming. Now I want this line, this statement to be displayed in first line, and this statement happy Python programming to be displayed in the next line. So what I can do is I can insert here an escape sequence. This is \n, which represents a new line. So if we run our program, you will notice we are getting the desired output. So what is happening is when Python interpreter executes our program, first of all it will ignore these lines because these are comments. Then when Python interpreter executes this print statement, first it will display this message, welcome Pythonista. Then the interpreter will notice this new line. What Python interpreter will do is it will move the cursor to the next line. Now the cursor is here, so from here onwards the next message, which is happy Python programming, will be displayed in the output. So that's why we are getting this output. Now if I write one more \n, so we have another escape sequence. Now if we run our program, you can see we are getting this output. It is displayed because when Python interpreter runs our program, first it will display welcome Pythonista. Then Python interpreter will notice we have \n. What it will do is it will move the cursor to the next line. Now the cursor is here. Then Python interpreter will notice one more \n. So it will move the cursor to next line. Then it will display this message, happy Python programming. So happy Python programming is displayed here. That's why we are getting this output. So if you want to represent a new line, you can use \n. Now suppose if I want to display some message in the output like print hello world. Now if I run the program, you will see it displayed the output hello world. Now what I want to do is I want to separate the word hello and the word world using a tab character. So what I will do is I will press the tab key on my keyboard. If we run the program, you will see we have this message. Now if we look carefully, you can notice here we have 1, 2, 3 and 4 spaces. So why it displayed 4 spaces instead of a tab character? This is because in the code editor, when we pressed the tab key, it replaced the tab key with 1, 2, 3 and 4 spaces. So in order to represent a tab key, we can use an escape sequence which is \t. \t represents the tab character. Now if we run the program, you will see we have one single tab character instead of bunch of spaces. Now if I add one more \t, which is another tab key, if we run the program, you will see we have 2 tab key. This is first and this is the second tab key. So we can use \t to represent horizontal tab